Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanine. We're going to begin right here with an article on financemagnates.com, and it's titled, we're jumping right into it. This is a good day. It's titled, Ripple Eyes U.S. Banks After Legal Victory Against the Regulator. I said this. I said that we were going, how did I phrase that? We were going to go on a rampage, a feast. It's time. It says, the blockchain firm expects more financial institutions to use XRP. We're in the game. Yes. It's time to play. Now, this may take some time, of course, but they're telling people, now look, listen, if you're going to have all these banks at some point in the future, if you're going to have all these banks using XRP, what does it do to that price? Let's scroll down here. They have a random piece here. Why did they write this? This writer underneath that put MoneyGram ended his partnership with Ripple in 2021. Why is that randomly there? This is on financemagnates.com. Okay, just in case you want to see this for yourself. And you let me know, why did they put that there? That's strange. But it says here, Ripple has expressed optimism that banks and financial institutions in the U.S. we're about to dominate. Give me those trillions. Who was it? Was it Lynn the other day in the members only video comment section? Lynn said Alphanine has trillions in his back pocket. I wish. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to put those trillions in my back pocket. That made me laugh. We have the absolute best subscribers and esteemed members on the planet here on this channel. My humble opinion. That's just how I feel. I appreciate every single one of you. Always bring a smile to my face, make me laugh. Let's continue on here. It says Ripple has expressed optimism that banks and financial institutions in the U.S. will start using its cryptocurrency, XRP, following the court ruling in the case between the blockchain company and the Securities Exchange Commission. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think the future looks a little bit 1 + 1 carried to 2. I didn't know, dividing it. It looks bright. It doesn't take some advanced mathematics to see that the future is bright. I kid a little bit. I'm feeling pretty good today. You guys having a good day? All right. You did good at work. Did you do a good workout? You do some good meditation? I don't know. What are you guys doing? Let me know in the comment section down below. I did a little wrestling today, a little freestyle today. I'm surprised I don't have marks all on my forehead from all the, you clash heads a lot. When you're doing a lot of those inside ties, getting close, you're trying to do all that, the underhooks and, listen, if I go in for a double leg, I'm going all the way. I'm shooting straight through you. Get that double leg. I'm taking you down. So I'm surprised I have the energy to do this video right now because I was exhausted. Anyway, get back to the crypto. What are you guys doing out there? Get back to the crypto news. What's wrong with you? Oh, we're not here for your personal stories. Got to be professional. Says here, last week, a judge in New York, what are we doing here? Last week, a judge in New York ruled that Ripple did not violate federal securities laws by selling XRP on public exchanges. That's key, public exchanges. However, the ruling, which concluded a long-standing legal battle between Ripple and the SEC, stated that the blockchain firm contravened the law by selling XRP to institutional clients. Listen, the judge left it open. We'll let the legal system handle that, and then we'll go from there. But here it says, let's skip down to this section. We're skipping a little bit. Skip it. It's titled. I actually want to skip it. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to say it. I want to skip it. Yeah. The toy. Yeah, I want to conquer it. Yeah, I never got to do it when I was little. Yeah, I want to skip it. Skip it. Remember that? Some of you don't remember that. They don't have toys like that these days, do they? Ripple. Stay focused. This one is titled Ripple Predicts Surge in XRP Adoption. I said it like it's another article. It's the section. Speaking in an interview with CNBC, Ripple's general counsel, Stuart Alderoty, said that this San Francisco-based company expects to start discussions with financial institutions planning to use its on-demand liquidity service in the third quarter. Wait a minute. You can't just drop that bomb like that. Let's rewind it. Remix. It says the San Francisco-based company expects to start discussions with financial institutions planning to use its on-demand liquidity service in the third quarter. That answers a lot of questions, doesn't it? How do you just slide this article in? Why isn't everyone talking about this? I hope they do. I hope everyone who's in the XRP community spread this around. Third quarter, they're talking to companies. Maybe we get some announcements. This is huge. This is huge news. And you know what's crazy? I saw this article this morning. I only see this one article. Listen, maybe it's just early. Maybe there's more articles at this point, and I'll wait to see. This is huge. Third quarter, they're expecting big activity. It says here, let's continue on. It says the service uses blockchain technology to enable users to transfer funds using XRP. Keep in mind those payment channels. I told you it was going to be key. Those payment channels is the best way to move funds back and forth, back and forth. And you can only use XRP in the payment channels. Oh, yeah. It's about to get a little bit fun. I don't know. Just my humble opinion. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just expressing myself. That's all. It says here, after the SEC, more SEC nonsense, MoneyGram into this partnership. They talk about that. Why do they continue to bring up MoneyGram? Stellar's working with MoneyGram. Sure, Ripple could, and I think they said that. We covered an article about a month ago where they said that they could work with MoneyGram again. And I always said that. Companies will come back. They'll come back. The ones who retreated away from the bank coins are now unleashed to continue the work that they ended long ago. So yeah, that's definitely possible. But until then, I'm not going to, continue to concentrate on something that's not actually there. Let's go. The things that we have that are concrete are more than enough. And we'll keep up with the catalyst and follow the progression there. That's how I feel. Says the global money transfer giant has sought Ripple services for cross-border payments and foreign exchange settlements. Besides that, Al-Aradi commented on the court's ruling that the sale of XRP to institutional clients, more of that, we'll let them handle that. That's not my concern. It says, he said that Ripple was unlikely to be affected by the decision. And, also I read a couple of articles. I don't have them here, but I read a bunch of articles that says highly unlikely, not impossible that the SEC will file an appeal, which I think would be very foolish on their end, considering that they will be going against the Brotherhood of Judges. I'm dead serious. Listen, you have to understand fraternal orders and as well as entities that move like fraternal orders where they stick together. And you don't want to try to go against one judge. And a lot of other judges are going to take that as being disrespectful. It's not going to go the way that you think it is, not most of the time. So that's the way I see it going. I think it would be very foolish on their behalf. But then again, the SEC does many foolish things, but it's not something I'm completely concerned with as of now. Not at all. Right. I think everything's going our way. I think things are going to continue that way until further notice. Right. This article here is from thecryptopotato.com, and it's titled XRP surpasses Bitcoin in terms of trading volume following Ripple versus SEC win. It says XRP, the native token of Ripple, has been one of crypto's best performers ever since the enterprise blockchain provider notched a landmark win in its legal battle against the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission. My apologies for that little strange way of reading right there. I have like air trapped in my chest. That ever happened to any of you out there? According to Kaiko, XRP trades have recently comprised 21% of the crypto trading volume, leaving BTC in second position with 20%. Ripple's court victory acted as a catalyst for the native coin of the organization, which soared by over 55% in the past 4 days. That we know. Says next bullet point. At one point, XRP neared $1 and became the fourth largest crypto by market cap. That we know. I'm trying to find, is there something we don't know in this article? Tell me something new. It says recent analysis displayed by Kaiko showed that trades involving XRP represented 21% of the daily market share of the entire cryptocurrency trading volume. BTC ranked second with 20%. Okay, so now that's interesting. Here we go. Okay. It says while ETH accounted for 8%. I'm actually concerned about Ethereum. I'll tell you that right now. Just given a lot of things that have been said from Vitalik and other things that have been occurring over the last few months. I'll say that. I don't hold any ETH, but I like to see everybody be successful. A lot of people I know and respect hold ETH and Bitcoin. I like to see them make some money. So hopefully everything continues to go well. Says next bullet point. One reason behind this significant success could be the massive support coming from multiple cryptocurrency exchanges. Well, they're just doing what they should have been doing from the beginning, in my humble opinion. The whole relisting and everything is something that is supposed to happen. It's the natural course of these events. So it says here, the reason behind the significant success is what XRP is positioned to do. Make no mistake about it, or people wouldn't care even if it was relisted. If it was worth nothing, if it didn't have utility, if it didn't have all these partnerships with the banks and countries, then they still wouldn't care. Relisting something that has no value, relisting something that has no purpose, it just would be meaningless. But that is not the case with XRP. Next bullet point says, despite the positive trends, the digital asset data provider outlined that XRP volume is, quote, only at a 10-month high. Daily trading volume involving the coin surpassed $15 billion on a few occasions in 2021 when the whole market was booming. You haven't seen anything yet, in my humble opinion, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. All right. Let me get that clear. Okay. So let's go here. The SEC continues to get thrashed, continues to lose. This is what happens when you put so much bad energy out there. It's just my humble opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but it comes back around, right? This is from the dailyhodl.com and it's titled, Court Says SEC Could Have Informed Coinbase that exchange was violating securities law prior to public listing. Let's see what they have to say here. A New York federal judge says that the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission could have given Coinbase a heads up that it could be violating securities laws before approving its application to go public. The SEC filed, which means that they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Once again, the SEC continues to get exposed. The SEC filed a lawsuit against Coinbase in June that we know. Let's scroll down here. During the pretrial conference, SEC counselor Peter Mancuso says the agency's approval of Coinbase's S-1 application to conduct an initial public offering does not mean the commission ever gave its stamp of approval to the crypto exchange's entire business. Is that so? That sounds ridiculous. It says, quote, simply because SEC allows a company to go public does not mean the SEC is blessing the underlying business or the underlying business structure or saying that the underlying business structure is not in violation of the law. That sounds silly in my humble opinion. Let's continue here. It says there is no evidence being put forth that the SEC looked at specific assets, but that's what they're supposed to do. And made specific determinations, also what they're supposed to do. So they're derelict in their duty. I think this is logical. You tell me, am I being illogical? It says, and then gave Coinbase comfort that this would not later be found to be a security subscribed to the channel. I don't know why. That just randomly that popped into my mind. Like, Mick, just say subscribe to the channel. You know why so many people watch the channel, they're not subscribed? Why? You know, I usually don't think about it. It just popped into my mind. Got to break up the rhythm once in a while, right? So it says here, District Judge Catherine Polk Fila says she wonders why the SEC didn't warn Coinbase beforehand of any regulatory gray areas. I think that this here is what the youth of today calls shooting bail. She's giving them a little bit of leeway because you know that this is what they're supposed to do and they're derelict in their duties. But instead of disciplining them and, giving them a tongue lashing for not doing what they're supposed to do, being derelict in their duties, the judge just says, I wonder why. Come on now. Most judges are highly intelligent individuals. All right. As are most lawyers. So the judge knows why. Once again, all this does is further expose that the SEC it needs to have a very, very sharp eye placed upon them. And a lot of things need to be redone or retooled. All right. That's how I feel. She says the agency could have given the exchange advice or warning before greenlighting the public listing. This all bodes well for the new financial system and any company that is going to be battling the SEC. The pathways are open right now for victory. The doors are open. These other companies just need to walk through. That's all. You're welcome. Yeah, we went to war for a long time. You're welcome. So now, let's move on here. All right. to this article from Cointelegraph.com. And it's titled, FSB finalizes its recommendations for a global crypto framework. It says the Financial Stability Board states that crypto platforms must segregate clients' digital assets from their own funds and clearly separate functions to avoid conflict of interest. That is one of the most simplistic things you could have come out to say. We know that. And we've known of the pitfalls of that. And, we've seen the detrimental nature of doing such things. It's just that your regulatory entities did nothing about it when it was, when it was done by FTX, etc. That's why it was a problem. And since you didn't smack their hand when they tried to steal out the cookie jar, they took 2 and 3 cookies. That's what happened, right? So now let's scroll down here, but it has nothing to do with the crypto companies, right? Crypto companies. These were rogue exchanges that had deep relationships with regulators and with a lot of politicians. Hence why they got away with many things. So actually, this runs a little bit deeper than what these individuals want to lead on to, but we can discuss that another time. It says the Financial Stability Board, FSB, an international organization that monitors the global financial system, has come up with a global regulatory framework for crypto. Oh, is that so? A global regulatory framework. And who's supposed to bend the knee and bow down to you? Is it the BRICS nations? Because whether the BRICS nations are doing well economically or harshly or experiencing harsh economic circumstances, they're still not going to bend the knee to you. Right? This is their time to rise, not really above where they are now, but to arise above the control mechanisms of the West. So that leads me to the thought that this is definitely going to be a multipolar world. So once again, that leads me back to what you're saying here, coming back full circle. How do you propose there's going to be a global regulatory framework for crypto? Well, let's read a little bit further. Maybe they'll elaborate. The guidelines recommended to the 20 leading economies of the world, known as the G20, they think very highly of themselves, don't they, are crafted upon the principle of, quote, same activity, same risk, same regulation, unquote. Is that so? That's just not reality. It's just not. A public note and 2 separate guideline documents were made public on July 17th. Also, I'll say this, respect goes a long way. And there has been a losing or lack of respect for a long time, right? So your word typically goes as far as either your power goes, and the power of a lot of countries has been negated greatly for a myriad of reasons, or your word goes as far as your respect goes, right? The document consists of 2 sets of recommendations: high-level recommendations for regulating crypto in general, and, quote, revised high-level recommendations, unquote, for a, quote, global stablecoin, unquote. And this is where Stellar comes in. Yeah, I believe that firmly. And I'm not asking anyone else to believe that. I'll be on the ship by myself if I have to. But this is where Stellar comes in, because they have a framework set up for a global stablecoin to move it everywhere that the West can't move and the East can't move. Stellar is everywhere. XLM or a Stellar-based stablecoin, which obviously involves XLM. But we'll see. We'll see in the future. So the latter means nothing more than any stablecoin that could be used in more than one jurisdiction. They wrote that a little bit strange there. The FSB states that crypto platforms must segregate. Well, they iterate that from the top. We're not going to repeat that. The international body is also quite open about its appreciation of privacy, really, as it demands local regulators make sure that there is no activity that, quote, may frustrate the identification of the responsible entity or affiliate entities, unquote, pointing to decentralized finance protocols. One of the high-level recommendations states, quote, authorities should have access to the data as necessary and appropriate to fulfill their regulatory, supervisory, and oversight mandates. Here's the problem. Who controls what they think is necessary? Because the people on the bottom, the regular people, the people that make the world run, they don't have a voice in what you do. So if there's no one to question what you deem as necessary, you could just deem everything as necessary and access their information anytime they want. Hence the problem that the people have with a CBDC. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I will take all your CBDC trillions. We know you're going to do it anyway. You always do. So we're going to take your money. We're going to take the bank's money. But that does not negate the validity of the concerns that the people have with your CBDCs. Just putting that out there. It says, and for so-called global stablecoins, FSB emphasizes that any stablecoin issuer should have one or more identifiable and responsible legal entities or individuals it calls a governance body, MBDCs, MCBDCs, coming in hot. Listen, I can see it. No guarantees. XRP, XLM, Algorand, this entire web, the new financial system, that is your multi-entity governance body. You have some central banks in there. They're going to come together. Then if you look at all the problems the banks are having right now, it's unbelievable. They're kicking the banks in the stomach right now. If you're reading the articles about the banks. All right, so now let's leave off there. Let's move on here and get a couple more articles in. Then I have to start working again on the members only video. So we have this article from cryptodaily.co.uk. Shout out to everybody in the UK. I appreciate every single one of you. U.S. lawmakers pressure Congress to pass crypto law. Things are speeding up. Let's scroll down here. It says, following the ruling, they're talking about the Ripple versus SEC case, the chairman of the House of Financial Services Committee, Patrick McHenry, and the chairman of the House of Agriculture Committee, Glenn Thomas, issued a joint statement. Quote, this decision underscores the need for Congress to provide clear rules of the road for the digital asset ecosystem. It's misguided to think otherwise. The ruling gives large institutional investors greater protections than everyday Americans. Outcomes like this happen when regulators force courts to make policy instead of Congress. Our comprehensive market structure legislation will give all investors, customers, and market participants the same long-standing protections found in our traditional financial markets. The lawmakers also noted the flaws in the Gensler-led SEC's regulatory approach, since digital assets may not, quote, be inherently securities, but can be offered as a part of an investment contract in certain circumstances, which our legislation acknowledges, unquote. The SEC's one-size-fits-all approach creates uncertainty and harms investors. Then they go into Loomis Gillibrand crypto bill. So listen, the crux of this is we have positive forward momentum, and that is a great thing right now. Finally, we have some movement. Third quarter, listen, I can't tell you what to do. Ripple is saying third quarter, they're going after the U.S. banks. This could be a huge moment in history. We need to keep our eye open for catalysts. It's a team effort here. So now that you have that information, yeah, I'm letting the head shake today. Feeling good today. Wait, where was I in my catchphrase? Now that you have that, you have that information. What are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.